It's February, the month of love. And what do we love here at Beaker? Books! We love books!
So the first book we're going to talk about this month, in February, the month of love, is Gabby Lost and Found. And spoiler alert, this book is on next year's Mark Twain Award nominee list. So we'll have quite a few of this one come fall. It's the story of a girl named Gabby whose mother has just been deported back to Honduras. And so Gabby herself feels like she's very lost. And she volunteers at an animal shelter and makes ads to hang up around town for people to see the dogs and cats, and so they'll come adopt them. And she helps all these animals find a new home. But the question is, will Gabby herself ever find a place she can call home? You'll have to check out Gabby Lost and Found. So the next book we're going to be looking at this month is called The Amaranth Enchantment. And this is a very fairy tale based book. It's about a girl named Lucinda who is an orphan. Her parents went off to a ball when she was a young girl and never came back. And she lives with her uncle and her really mean step-aunt who own a jewelry store. And one day at the jewelry store, a very mean lady comes in and she meets her. She meets a really gorgeous prince and she gets a pretty necklace with an amulet in it. And between the mean lady, the handsome prince, and the amulet, her world gets turned upside down. And I think the real question of this book is Lucinda ever going to find her happily ever after, like in the fairy tales? Hey, the last book we're going to be talking about is called Article 5, and this one is young adult. Sorry, kiddos. Article 5 is about Ember and Chase, and it takes place in the future when the government has become totally obsessed with morality, and they have all these moral standards, and they're written on the back of the book if you want to look. But Article 5 in the morality standards says, children are considered valid citizens only when conceived by a married man and wife. So when that gets passed, every child who was born when their parents were not married is instantly not a U.S. citizen. So that's like a ton of kids. And Ember is one of them. And they go to take her in and put her in like a camp, and they're not going to let her out. And she meets Chase and goes on the run for survival. And what more would happen when you're on the run for survival but to fall in love? So check out Article 5 to find out more.
I'm Keone Gaddy, and I would like to recommend the book Upside Down in the Middle of Nowhere because it's about this girl, and she thinks she's going to get an amazing 10th birthday, but instead she gets Hurricane Katrina, and she loses some of her family.
Hi, my name is Dakota. I am in 5th grade, and I will be telling you about the book The Dumbest Idea Ever. There is a boy named Jimmy. This is pretty much a comic book autobiography. It tells about the author's real life and it tells about him how he wants to write comics, but all of his ideas go wrong and no one really likes his comics. But then ends up realizing that his comics are really good, and then he starts getting very mean about it because everyone wants to get his autograph. Read to find more in the book The Dumbest Idea Ever by Jimmy Gallenly.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm recommending the book Because of Winn-Dixie because it's about this girl named Opal, and she finds a dog at the Winn-Dixie grocery store, and she decides to keep it. And when she moved to Florida, and ever since she moved there, she starts feeling like alone and stuff because her mom abandoned her when she was younger, and I think it's a really good book, and I think people should read it.
This is Rapunzel, and this is on next year's Truman Award. Rapunzel is a story that is based on the fairy tale, but it's set in modern day, and it's about a girl who was kidnapped at birth, and the person that kidnapped her thinks she has some magic powers in her hair, and Rapunzel has been locked up for 18 years, and she gets homeschooled, so she is able to use a computer. And she meets a boy on Facebook one day in an area that she's not supposed to be on. And their relationship deepens, and Rapunzel believes that she has this disease where she can't go out into the world because she will die. And she takes a risk and goes ahead and meets this boy, and you'll just have to read on to find out what happens to Rapunzel.
New this month, we have the book I Am Zlatan about the soccer player. It's in the biography section. The third book in the Vision series came in. It's called Gasp. We got the sequel to Steelheart called Firefight. A new graphic novel series, The Rise of Aurora West, book 1 came in. The Halcyon Bird came in. It's the sequel to The Demon Catchers of Milan. And we got books 5 and the newest book, the extra book to the Spirit Animals series. We got the new book in the Darkest Minds series. It's book 3, The Afterlight. And per request by many students, we finally got in the Minecraft books. Stop by the library and put yours on hold today. Got in the third book in the I Funny series called I Totally Funniest. A new book by James Patterson in a new series called House of Robots. The 6th book in the Spirit Animals series, Rise and Fall. And the 6th book in the Middle School The Worst Years of My Life series. This one's called Save Rafi.
Well, that does it for the February edition of What's New in the Library. I hope you fall in love with a good book this month. Mwah.